Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gents. My name is Alex. I'm joined by Halo Fan 1 over there.
I presume that's me.
And Halo Fan 2 over there.
Who's that?
See, I was going to say, he's like a... What fan are you? You're a fan of games that don't get any coverage.
I'm
Elden Ring fan.
I'm the Last of Us 2
Disappointed this year.
Yeah, so this is, was the Halo Infinite reveal as bad as they say? So we're all somewhat Halo fans at this point. We've been waiting for this for 5 years, and I guess even longer if you count the Halo 5 period and build up and all of that disappointment too. So how many years is it actually overall since we had a Halo game that we actually are anticipating?
I was excited for Halo 4.
Yeah, I was excited for Halo 4.
So Halo 4 then, but that was a while ago, wasn't it? Wasn't that like 2012, 13?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
But yeah, it was the first reveal of the gameplay for Halo Infinite. Do we feel it's as bad as they say? What's our initial impressions here?
I'll let Jim go first.
Yeah, Jim, take us away, will you?
Really? I was expecting to be more impressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Um,
As soon as he started sprinting, I just began laughing. That happened with me. But it's like a really slow sprint that he's got now.
Yeah,
It's like
everything gameplay-wise looks fine
Mm-hmm.
Do you
to
think
me.
so?
Yeah,
I would even go so far as to say it
been-
looks fun.
Yeah, it's all been slowed down to a degree where it looks like Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a couple of
In a
things I
good
need
way.
clarifying. But I'd agree it definitely looks like a huge improvement over 5.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. I was expecting more. I guess the thing that threw me off the most is that it's the complete opposite tact of how they first showed the game off, where it was all about, look at the fidelity of our engine. This is going to be the most beautiful game you've ever seen.
Yeah.
The first time we see gameplay, it's like the most rough, unpolished, fucking ugly demo.
Yeah, it was very clearly unfinished.
I think
can notice some
that just-
popping.
I reckon that's how it's going to look.
I don't know. There was when he went out of the menus, all the lighting layered in gradually, and then when he was going up the lift, I noticed popping way over in the distance. And I don't know. I mean, I think it'll look a bit better by the time it comes out.
Yeah.
Well,
apparently
there's a
going to
thing
be a
as well-
ray tracing update or something like that, which might help.
Well, it's because it's going to be released on 3 platforms. I mean, I'll play it on PC, so it might run better than how they've shown it.
Mhm.
It is different when it comes to that sort of thing. But yeah, I was drawn to the weapons and stuff. They look weirdly low fidelity, really low texture quality. A lot
Yeah.
of stuff
It
just
seemed
looks
like
kind of smooth.
One way I saw it described was that it's like Halo 1's color palette with Halo 5's kind of graphics. So there's a really weird clash going on where they're trying to appease multiple different people. But the new weapons, as you brought up, what is it with their designs being so bland and them just redesigning shit and replacing stuff?
Yeah, because that gun that was in Halo 3, was it the Mauler?
Either
3, yeah.
yeah, the Mauler.
Yeah, the little shotgun thing. It looks way worse in this than it did in Halo 3.
You could tell me that it was a Promethean weapon, but they were baddie Prometheans, and I would believe you. I'd be like, okay, sure, fine, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one thing of note is that apparently this demo begins several hours into the game. So
Right.
that's one thing that I think they did a really bad job of conveying is the scope of the game. Because I'd be willing to forgive some of the graphical stuff if they just explained why it has to look that way, and explain any idea beyond this really vague. Yeah, we're going back to the roots of Halo 1, and there's a map now. But what does any of that actually mean?
Yeah, it's
I
really
still don't
confusing,
understand what the game
Is the map just per level?
Was it? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it areas with missions in specific areas?
Yeah. I really don't understand. I was hoping, because what I was anticipating was like what Sony have been doing for all their exclusives, where they've got like a half-hour dedicated
That's what I was
thing
expecting.
for it. And then there's just like 9 minutes of mostly gameplay. Kind of weird.
I have to wonder, because they've made it clear, you know, like if you go on the Steam page as well, I mean, it was briefly mentioned, but then the Steam page for it reiterates multiplayer in the game, more on that later, Forge in the game, more on that later. But there's not much later left before Holiday 2020. You know, later is rapidly ending. I mean, Bungie were doing VDocs right up until, you know, about 2 seconds before the Halo Reach came out. So like, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're going to do that. Maybe they wanted to see what people are most confused about on social media and then be like, okay, now address all of those things in the next few months. Go. But that's not the way to do it. You don't want, I don't know, maybe they just think they're willing to take the risk of pissing people off for a little bit to then answer their questions when they know what the questions are, instead of being really verbose and maybe saying so much that people are just confused. I don't know.
Yeah, I think their marketing tactic has been kind of messy so far. Like,
definitely.
I don't think they've got it right, really. The closest, I guess, in the 343 era was probably Halo 4, to be honest. I kind of understood what that game was before.
And it had a dubstep trailer. Like, it at least knew what people wanted at the time.
Yeah, it was channeling that COD energy.
Which maybe wasn't a good thing, you know, that whole philosophy of what do people want at the time was what fucked everything up to begin with, But
Halo 5 had the E3 showings, but it also had that beta like a year before it came out. So you had an idea of what the game was like.
I hardly played it.
The fact we don't even have a release date and it just says holiday. Like,
it's because they've not even announced a console. I guess it'll come out at the same time as the console.
You'd hope so.
On the same day. Yeah.
On the graphical fidelity stuff, one of the most widely criticized parts of the trailer is the kind of brute monologue at the end. And
it doesn't look finished. It still looks like they haven't finished, I guess, just texturing it. Yeah,
the whole kind of game looks too clean. It's like they're missing that
one final layer. Yeah, they're missing all the grit. Yeah. That's exactly what I thought.
Huge difference. It does. Because it makes everything look too clean, because nothing is that pristine in like real life. So our brain can acknowledge and recognize when things look like fake in an environment, and that dirt helps like ground it in the world. But yeah, that it was just a weird choice in that, like going back to that monologue where they kept cutting away from it to like the old trailer, which really just seemed to me like they were just trying to hide the face and the animation so you couldn't get a good look at it. But then he comes out of the hologram and you see his whole, you know, every pore on his face and all that. But it's also just a weird decision for me, because it's just a weird point to like try and get everyone in on the story. Like this new faction, which is established in a spin-off RTS game, which was a sequel, like a late sequel. And now they built up like the villain Atriox in that game, and he's kind of mentioned in this, but then they established like a new brute instead. And this is like the
I don't
really understand what they're doing.
Are they like mini bosses? I don't get it. Like, is he just like a Destiny strike boss or some shit?
This is my question about the secrecy of it all. I'm wondering if they're really going down the Halo 1 path and they want to keep all these secrets, so when you actually play the game there might be some surprise.
It's like a pleasant surprise, yeah.
But on the other hand, it could be the fact that like the development has been a complete mess and they're just like scrounging whatever they can together and have to just kind of make it up as they go along.
Well, given 343's history, I'd be more willing to bet that was the case than
it's just like
genius planned scheme.
It's just they've had 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
5 long years, dude.
No, but if you give loads of time to people that don't know what they're doing, then it's still going to come out bad.
You just think that, like, they spend 2 years working out what they're doing, then 3 years doing it. You would hope, or something.
Yeah, you would. It's just like
the project a few times in the middle, maybe a couple years.
Yeah, I'd treat this with caution for sure.
The visual style of it. You remember those renders of Halo Wars 2 on the Halo Wars 2 menus, and we'd always say how good they looked. But they did look like toys. Like that was something about it. They looked like it kind of looked like toys, but it's an RTS, so like that's I'm like fine with that. I didn't think that they'd then take that and make that the entire visual style of the next like flagship Halo title.
Yeah,
like remember that time we made the Halo stuff look good, but like toys? Yeah, okay, do that for the whole game.
Yeah, I noticed with the banished Phantom that comes in, it looks really like janky and under-detailed, and its flight pattern looks really odd. At least it flies in from off-screen and not just like appearing on the spot like it did in Halo 5. But one thing that was kind of cool with the kind of enemy design with the brutes now, they have that feature that Bungie wanted to build into Halo 3 with the armor pieces that you shoot off. Which is like the logical way to implement those enemies. How do you feel about how they look? Because that's being memed a bit. Because they've got no hair. They've got absolutely no hair.
That makes me think it's not finished. Like they haven't finished putting in, because I don't know, in terms of game development, hair probably comes under like grit and shit, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's like notoriously hard to look right. So maybe
weren't brutes sort of hairless in Reach?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They're all like smooth and like creepy looking.
But in Halo Wars 2, though, they show the banished and they're all hairy. So
I don't know. I haven't played that game.
I mean, I'm willing to bet. The one thing that I probably would depend on or bet on is this, that in terms of how it looks, it's not finished, and they'll say that demo was a build that we finished in, I don't know, like 10 months ago. Great. Why didn't you use something more recent, guys?
You don't do that for a reveal.
Doesn't make any sense.
In history, devs tend to make things look better than they will be at release. So it'd be weird for their flagship franchise to like have it looking worse. It doesn't make sense. So I honestly think this is how the game is gonna look at release.
But in saying that, I mean, it's not like it's a total loss, because if you look through some of the screenshots, you can see like, oh, that looks really good there. Like the Chiefs just standing in the right angle. They've got like a different environment, because they chose a weird place to show off for the first time, because it's kind of like the most bland area you could possibly show.
It's just Halo 1 level fucking 2.
Yeah, but going back to the gameplay though, I did giggle as you started to sprint and then like
it just
and slide and all that.
It just sprint, I didn't. They didn't need a slide and they didn't need a sprint. They could have just made Chief move faster.
Does he have a slide in this?
Yeah,
does he? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't have like the most awful options from Halo 5. Like the charge move. Like
that's terrible.
Charge, the Spartan Slam, the like boost. That really ruined the gameplay.
Spartan Dash. This is going to bring me nicely in, because we're going to get onto it in like 4 more words. So Halo Infinite has a grapple hook. Doom Eternal has a grapple hook. Eternal and Infinite are the same thing. So green people, they have hooks in 2020. That's how it is this year. Doom Eternal doesn't have doesn't have sprint, doesn't have slide. It has a mantle and it has a grapple hook, and that game, at the very least, like feels pretty good. Yeah, should have just done that. Should have just copied them.
Doom and Destiny are the 2 comparisons I'm seeing, and I get the Destiny thing with the like just really generic guns.
Definitely.
And all the reload animations and stuff, they look like out of Destiny.
Yeah.
Really?
They look straight out of Destiny. And I was thinking about that. I mean, Destiny is made by Bungie, and Bungie used to make Halo. Video games are soulless now, so it's kind of the natural progression of things. Destiny and Halo are always going to be connected by how soulless they both are.
And the sounds are being criticized a lot too, which I agree with.
Yeah.
But there's no distinction or creativity with these new weapons. And
it sounds... I mean, other than the soundtrack, it sounds like Halo 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. It sounds, apart from the odd like the armor regeneration noise is back.
Which is just Halo ones.
There's the odd thing, but like
maybe they'll change. Maybe these are things that they're going to reactionarily change a little bit or something. It did seem so rough that.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know.
How did you feel about... I kept getting flashes to fucking Mass Effect Andromeda with the, like, design in the map with those, like... what's the best way to describe it? All those, like, pillars at different heights. Kind of looks like a beehive design that was in Mass Effect Andromeda. It didn't really make me... It didn't evoke Forerunner to me. I guess they're going for something new. I don't know. And with the lighting and everything, it just looked all really flat when they were kind of showing off the environment, and there were like clouds popping in and just glitchy stuff.
See, that's what makes me think that it's not finished in that regard, because you expect some pop in, but probably not like to that extent with the fucking skybox.
Well, have you seen all this stuff they've been saying about how this is just going to be the Halo platform now? I
was thinking that. I was talking about it.
This is just what they're going to work on. And they're not going to do another big release, apart from this, and like just add on to this game. Which is like, so what, is it going to be just like a shell when it comes out? Kind of like Halo 5, and then gradually be patched into being acceptable?
Fuck knows. I mean, at this point, if it does suck, at least I've only spent the same money that I spend every month on Xbox Live.
Yeah, true. Another thing, actually, rated 18 now, which is a good change. Because the last couple were like
12A.
Yeah.
Couldn't have blood.
Which is super weird. There's still not enough blood, but...
something in the fucking menus. Upgrades.
Yes.
Didn't like that. Don't like that at all. Fuck that off completely.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
Maybe it's something bullshit. Like, grapple hook recharge. You can carry 2 more grenades, or if it's something like really rudimentary, I don't know if I'd care, but I'd kind of be like, why?
This is why understanding the scope of it is important, because if the campaign is like 10 hours long, then maybe you wouldn't need an upgrade tree, but if it is like considerably longer and the game is bigger than we realize, then maybe it would be good in the single player. But
they've raised questions thinking that it'll be like intrigue, and instead it's just like confusion which turns to anger.
They're shitting themselves about multiplayer now because they're like desperately don't want sprint and the grapple to be like a toggle kind of option.
The weapons, I was concerned by how fucking hyper lethal they still look in that really, really lame Halo 5 way. Like there was some like, I'm gonna call it a burst grenade launcher. That just looks like the Promethean cannons, like hip fire, where it would just fire up 2 like just kind of crappy grenades.
Yeah.
And
what's it called? Where it like auto aims for you in Halo.
Yeah. The Commando, that new gun. What is the point of that gun? What role does it fulfill?
What's that?
It's like 20 rounds. It looked boring, and it was like a rapid DMR, kind of thing. What does that do?
Or aim down sights, yeah.
Yeah, and that was I just dress it up however you want. Make it so it goes black around the rim, so it's like an old Halo like ADS, but it's still an ADS.
Well, yeah, I want to know how that ADS functions, because that's critical to me. Like, was one of the main things that fucked the gameplay in Halo 5 was aimed down sights.
Like, he didn't ADS with the assault rifle or the pistol. I also noticed that the guns, this could just be a detail. You get that with games, but it was like kinetic, burst, whatever. It had like 3 words underneath each weapon.
Right.
Or when they were picked up, saying like kinetic, semi-auto, something. So then I immediately wondered, great, are there going to be like different ammo types and sights and things like that just don't need to be in it?
Yeah, we don't really know, but one positive thing they do seem to be leaning into is the emphasis on Sandbox again, instead of just making you this ultimate power weapon. So like that new thing where you can like grapple a
fusion coil.
Yeah, fusion coil, and throw that around and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the right momentum for Halo. In terms of momentum or momentous gameplay, that's probably the right thing to have. Like, oh, he's a Spartan, so I don't mind the grapple, because I'm like, well, I guess a Spartan fucking super soldier probably would have a few like utility belt Batman things.
Yeah,
you would expect it. It's just
it depends how they implement it and how like fucked it is in multiplayer, but
hopefully there's just no grapple hook. Simple as that in multiplayer. Just don't bother. Just don't have one.
Yeah, I'm interested if the vehicles are going to be more important then. If it's like a huge map, and you've got to like get around.
It definitely looks like it with how much slower the movement speed is with sprinting and stuff.
Yeah,
because he gets in the warthog early on.
And then, I mean, in terms of like the environments that, Chief was actually killing Covenant in, those were smaller. Like you were never too far away. It was like the right distance constantly for each thing that was being killed.
Yeah, and there seemed to be a fair amount of like variation in the kind of tiers of enemies and stuff like that. And presumably, I guess the Forerunner enemies are probably in it. Like they can't just not be in it now, can they?
They're really just Sentinels.
Because I'm just wondering that there's like a reason they would have skipped that far into the game, right? Like not show the intro and that whole first chunk. Like there's clearly a bunch of spoilery stuff in there. What else is there?
Something that, going back to negative stuff, something that really annoyed me was hit markers.
Yeah.
The Halo 5 ones, weren't they?
Okay.
Yeah.
And kind of live with it.
Why not just design your game like the old Halo games where the feedback is really clear?
It's just a noise.
In an organic way.
Yeah, like there was even
like the way the shields fizzle when you hit them and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you'd just be able to turn them off. Just turn hit markers
I'm
off.
sure you will, but I mean, like, if that's in the design from the get-go, then they just don't have to try with organically implementing that sort of thing.
Yeah, I just keep thinking though, like, we've literally been saying for years, how cool would it be if there was a Halo game where you were just on a Halo ring and you just got to explore it.
And now they've given us it, and it's like, fuck, maybe I didn't want this.
Well, yeah, because they've done such a bad job of just...
Yeah, but is that even what this is?
Well, yeah, this is
It's
what I
meant
mean.
to be.
Like, they've failed in their marketing if we just don't understand what the game is, really.
Yeah.
Because if you go on the Steam page, which I've actually found to be more informative than any of the trailers, I'll quickly bring it up.
Yeah, like, why is the Steam page mentioning Forge and multiplayer and, like, the official conference and trailers aren't?
Hold on, then. I'll tell you. It says, campaign. When all hope is lost, and you whatever, skip all that, blah, 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 blah. Beginning you, step inside the armor of humanity's greatest hero to experience an epic adventure and finally explore the scale of the Halo ring itself. Those words, to me, explore the scale of the Halo ring itself, makes me think, yeah, it will be open world, but we still, like we've been saying, have no idea how fucking big it will be.
Yeah.
Or just in every sense. I don't get it. Still look kind of fun. I just want to say that, like, I've shat on it, but I was like, the game still looks pretty fun. I just don't know if I'll really give that much of a shit.
Yeah, it also depends on this, what the fuck they're doing with the narrative. Like, I like this idea of Chief and this, like, pilot having this little, like, banter going on.
Yeah.
They're, like, extremes of each other, and it highlights them.
Yeah, if he sort of replaces Cortana in a sense,
Yeah.
I could see that working. But it's just weird how 343 is always taking the story in a completely different way to how Bungie did it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about, like, Chief's companions. Yes, he said Cortana, and he said Johnson. Johnson isn't even really a character. He's just a...
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's like a
black
catchphrase,
drill sergeant thing. And that's, that was fun and good. And I guess 343 are like, we should probably have a character with a bit more depth, like a human being that actually just, like, tells Chief, I'm not like you. I'm not like you, man. Because he, does say that.
Yeah, he seems cool. There was some weird stuff going on with the, like, face animations, but I thought his performance was good. Yeah, why does Halo Reach look better than this game?
I mean, I don't know. I really want to hope it's not finished, but fuck, man.
And there's these pictures going around of, like, a screenshot of Halo 3 compared to one from Infinite, and it looks like miles worse. And, like, zooming in on details on the assault rifle and stuff and comparing them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just like everything looks underdeveloped. Weird. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, comparing it to Halo 2 Anniversary 2, which was quite recent, and that looks miles better in terms of, like, the skybox and stuff like that.
I was playing that today, and I was thinking, like, in regards to what I'd just seen, I was like, well, Halo 2 Anniversary was going for that. I don't know how else to describe it other than plastic. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, it has a plasticky thing, and it works for it. But it's not working in Halo Infinite because they don't have any of the... there's, like, a word that I can't think of, like, a game developing term, but it's just dirt and grit and it's just detail like that on the most basic level that's just not there for some reason. just paint flecks. Like, I know it's new armor and shit, but that's not my problem. It's that, like, the guns look. We were just saying the guns are crap.
Yeah,
They're really boring.
So most people that are defending it are using the argument that it's like a beta and that it's a work in progress type thing.
Yeah, but it's August nearly, and the game comes out in. The game comes out really soon.
If this was the first time they showed the game and we knew we weren't going to be getting it for a few years, then I'd understand it a bit more. But it's the fact it is coming so soon.
No, but even then, again, like, most things tend to make themselves look better than they're going to be.
But I mean,
I'm trying to think of
I give them credit for showing it for what it is, you know.
Yeah, if that is the case.
Like, it looks almost there.
Yeah,
maybe that's why it looks almost there. Like, it's just like a lot of the screenshots they show. I'm looking at the Steam page again. Chief looks done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks finished.
Yeah, he looks
good. But not everything is finished. I don't make games. I feel like I don't want to feel like I sound like I just don't get it. But
no, but when
the assault rifle doesn't, like, I'm looking at it again. It hardly has definition. It's just like a grey brick. Like, it's just a solid grey brick. It's like 3 tones of grey involved. Yeah.
I know it's lame to compare, but like Sony and their exclusives, we've had hands-on with The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, all games that look just ridiculously good.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like Microsoft's one game to show off, and like this is the reaction they're getting. It's not really a good sign, you know. And like God of War is pretty much an open world. Why does that game look so much better? And it came out like years ago now.
Yeah, I mean, but to me, it just seems like such a simple fix to make Halo Infinite look right. Like, it really looks like there's just one layer missing. Like, it's like they just unticked like one box or something, and then shit, it's too late though. We already did the whole demo, guys, and you know the conference is in 12 minutes, so we better get that over there.
Yeah, I really don't know what the thinking was, because I'd almost prefer to see less and keep things a secret, as opposed to just getting like a tiny bit of information and then just being kind of like blue-balled and just not knowing like what it is, really. This is scarily reminiscent of when Destiny 1 was first coming out.
Yeah.
You just had no idea what the game was. And
that game sucked.
You just had to figure it out when it came out, and then was like, oh, I guess this is what it is. But yeah, it'll probably have more of a story and that kind of stuff. That's the main thing, I guess, that I'll play it for. But it's also nice, you don't have to like even really worry about like pre-ordering it or any of that shit. It's just like, yeah, I guess I'll just install it, pre-order it on Game Pass. Fuck
yeah.
It. Why not? Why would I not? Don't even need to buy a new console to play it.
Yeah. I mean, I would like it to be good because I like Halo a lot and I haven't had a reason to care for a while, but in terms of like consumer risk, there's none.
Yeah. And how do we feel about the music? We didn't really talk about that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably the best aspect.
Yeah, that's definitely the best thing about it.
They just revealed out of nowhere that Gareth Coker from the Ori, soundtracks is jumping on board to help. It's like, that's such an obvious decision. Why did nobody think of this before? Like, even Marty O'Donnell in one of his recent interviews with like the Halo YouTubers was praising him and how much he likes the music. Is such a logical choice, and you can hear it. You can hear Ori in it too.
Absolutely.
You can also hear I think it works with what they're going for there. I just hope there's some like new compositions though too, and it's not all just like fan service.
I don't know. I mean, there are definitely things not right, but I mean, a lot of my fear is just based around the fact that it is 343, and they've never been good.
Yeah.
I'd like to be proved wrong for once, but I don't think I will be.
It was just it was the one time it had to go smoothly and like cleanly.
It just doesn't look done. I mean, maybe there'll be more in the next few months, and then it'll be like, oh, right, I see. Maybe it'll all make sense.
Yeah. I don't think the game looks bad. I just think they've shown off the game badly, and it might be a good game shown off badly.
Which,
I don't know.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the most important thing is the gameplay, really.
It does look fun. Like,
Yeah, and another thing, actually, that initial stream fucked it over too. It like skipped all over the place and compressed it.
oh yeah. No, yeah. The Game Awards stream was really bad. I moved from that one over to the Xbox one, and it was fine.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking for all the people that like
You
it's
just
their
didn't.
first impression of it, and it's just like looks extra fucked.
And they're just getting annoyed by Microsoft.
Yeah, if you go on the actual Halo like YouTube channel and watch the like 60 frames footage of it, it does look much better, and you can imagine how actually playing it will be a huge improvement.
The new shotgun is the only other thing that and that actually looked fine to me because it had less damage but more stagger, and I was like, okay, I can see how that would work.
It's not going to replace the original one, though, is it?
No, definitely not. I mean, the fact that it's so different to it made me think, like, yeah, the shotgun will be in the game. It's called the Bulldog, so it's a different gun altogether.
You'd hope so, but I've seen conflicting reports on it.
Yeah, because they completely changed the design for the original shotgun in Halo 4 and 5 to be something that looks completely...
Yeah, but all of the... I don't think they look like Halo weapons.
They look like Crisis weapons. They literally look like... I just played Crisis, and they look like Crisis weapons.
It looks just like Crisis.
The pistol looks lame. That new pistol looks shit.
Yeah,
just
looks like
looks like a COD gun, like a nondescript COD gun.
Well, yeah, it's like they forgot that like everything in Halo is just modeled over like aliens, basically, and that kind of sci-fi.
Yeah.
Not this like COD thing they're going for.
Maybe there will be, like every gun that everyone knows in the game as well. That to me seems like the logical thing. It's like, yeah, you guys want to add your new stuff, just a few new bits and pieces.
We don't know how modular it is and how much like the differences between the multiplayer and the campaign are going to be, because we just have no idea. So
yeah, I got nothing now though. Just the music was nice. I really liked the choral shit when he was on the left. And then I liked that rhythmic percussion when he was going up the hill, advancing. I was like, yeah, he's advancing up the hill. It's kind of a bit of the Halo theme going on.
Yeah, that was cool.
Chief is shooting people. Well, shooting aliens.
Yeah, so I'm going to actually end this by saying that I do think it was actually incredibly flawed, maybe bad. A bad way to first show off the gameplay. Not saying the game's going to be bad, just saying I'm disappointed by the way they showed it off.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and even if the reason it doesn't look great is because it's like a huge world or whatever, I don't know if that's what Halo needs.
I wanted a linear campaign, to be honest with you. I wanted a nice linear 10 to 20 mission long campaign.
Yeah, I don't know.
With various things. Maybe I'll be happy with this, and I'll be like, oh, okay. It's a different... I mean, it is new and different. It's just that every time 343 have done new and different, they've done it really badly. Maybe this will be new and different, but a pleasant sort of change.
Just retcon all of their games anyway, so...
Oh, right. I did wonder how it fits in.
Yeah, like, I guess the ideal scenario would have been that Halo 4 and 5 never came out, and they just sat on it, just tinkering away at this, like, Halo game that then they could release when the hardware was ready to, instead of this, like, just trying to innovate.
Speaking of that, Avatar 2 has been delayed another year.
Yes.
I mean, I only want to say that I really do think that it is definitely a demo. It's not... I don't think it's necessarily representative visually of what the game will look like. Because, I just refuse to believe that. It's just like unacceptable by like pretty much every modern release.
It looks like Halo 5 Forge, you know?
Yeah, or Warzone.
Yeah, when it just doesn't have enough detail.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that's what it looks like, so then I can't be disappointed unless
that's
the
a
game
good idea,
releases
actually.
and it somehow looks worse.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Yeah, maybe it will look worse. Lego Star Wars 1 PS2 graphics.
Well, yeah, the joke is that it looks like that Mega Bloks game that leaked.